So we've already touched on this issue in other videos, but here I want to really cover the issue and get deeper into it. Raw human desires are fake and selfish. We just want to serve our own interests. The soul's desires, we are told, are different in essence. She is pure and sincere and does things for real reasons. But why is that? I mean, I get it. She's pure and sincere, but if she wants to do something, doesn't that mean there's something in it for her? Doesn't that mean she gains something from doing that particular action? Why else would she want it? We humans can also be nice and kind. We can have compassion on others. We can give charity, but somehow we always blame ourselves and say that we're selfish and have something in it for ourselves. It might just be that it makes us feel good. So if so, we're not really doing it for the other person. We're doing it for the good feeling it gives us within us. What if it didn't make us feel good within ourselves? Well, in that case, we probably wouldn't end up doing it. If that's the case, why is the soul so different? She wants to satisfy her desire of goodness. That's a personal interest. When she does things that are good, that satisfies her and fulfills her desires. If so, what makes her so much better than us? But no, there is a difference. Our bodies are made of parts. Our hearts need our brain to command it to pump, and our brain needs our heart to send it blood and oxygen to function. We need our lungs and our stomachs, and every single part of our body is dependent on the success of the others in order for it to function correctly. We need our limbs to get us things and take us around. A soul doesn't have parts that she relies on to exist. She's true and real and exists on an internal level. She exists because she is true, because she's real. And for us in our human bodies, it doesn't end there. Even if we had everything functioning perfectly in our body, we still need to have air, which we depend on. We need water, which we can't survive without. And then we need food, and then we need to have clothing and shelter to protect us from the elements. The soul doesn't rely on anything for her survival. She just lives internally. Guess what? It's exactly that. Precisely because the world has nothing to offer, and precisely because our human temptations are so fake and insincere, that the soul's impact and unification with us and influence on us is so significant. Here's the logic. The soul in her world of spiritual goodness and kindness has no selfish temptations and desires. She connects and remains aligned with the purity she resides in because she doesn't see another choice. Everything is so perfect and beautiful, how can you choose something else? She has no challenges to being holy and real and good and sincere. Imagine utilizing a being that only thinks about itself and impacting it to see goodness and genuineness. But even that is not enough. We need the help of other people to live up to our very own dreams. We desire social relationships, and if we want to have a successful career, we can't focus on planting our own food, sewing our own clothing, and building our own homes. Remember, in that case, we would have to resource all the materials and tools on our own and figure out how to use them and put them together all by ourselves. 99.999% of humanity rely on things other people do for them. We can buy ready-made food from the stores, and the stores themselves are built by people which rely on other people which create their tools, and those people rely on the food which are in the stores, and the food in the stores come from a farm which are brought through a truck or by plane, which are made by people who know how to put them together and mechanics who know how to fix them, and they're shipped to us by people who know how to drive the truck or fly the plane. We need friends, we need family and relationships to dispel feelings of loneliness. The soul resides within her own realm, true to herself. Now, that might sound selfish, but she's not. She's pure and selfless. In her reality, she doesn't need anything. There are other souls around, but she doesn't see them as other. They're all unified and one in God's essence. It's a wholesome situation. She barely even sees herself as an independent soul. She views herself more as part of this wholesome entity. And being a part of this wholesome entity means she isn't a part. She really has the entire beauty and infinity of this wholesome entity within her. It's a singularity. In our human minds and hearts, we can't truly relate to this idea. It's by definition completely beyond us and inconceivable. But that's because everything we know is a combination of many separate details which come together and form an idea which we now understand. Even our brains and hearts are made out of several layers of tissue, which are themselves made out of elements which are made out of atoms. Our brains are so far from truly comprehending the purity of the soul, I don't even know how we're having this conversation here right now. Well, I mean we can, because we can understand that we can't understand. The soul's desires come from this place of wholesomeness. She doesn't need anything, but she desires goodness and unity. And since our bodies and realities are separate entities, she desires that we bring everything together and unify them into one beautiful, wholesome being. That we sincerely connect to other people and see the good in them. Our human desires all come from a void. We lack and therefore we want. We aren't perfect, so we need others. And when we fulfill these desires, we fill exactly that, the void we've previously had within us. But that's not a real connection. That's a connection built on a void. How can we connect in a real way though? How can we have a connection which is true and real and comes from the deepest part of ourselves, from deep within our essence, what we really are? This connection can only be facilitated by our soul. The soul we have within us sees everything with the ultimate level of purity and sincerity. To connect to the other not because of personal gain, but because it's the truest and best and most real thing to do. And it's the deepest desire which comes from a good place and a wholesome place, not from our human necessities and disadvantages. But now we might think, but if the soul is so perfect and wholesome even without fulfilling its desires, then what's the point and need of even fulfilling them in the first place? She'll be perfectly fine in her eternal singularity. The answer is, she doesn't need them. But that's exactly what makes it so eternal and real. These desires are part of her true and eternal reality, which are part of her real and infinite self. And it's true that if these desires aren't fulfilled, she will remain perfect and pure. But when they are fulfilled and they come into fruition, these things become part of her eternal unity and singularity, infinity and greatness. When we fulfill a human desire, we only connect to the human void. When we seek a human connection for the looks, accomplishments, or success, that's exactly what we're connecting to. Nothing beyond the looks, success, or accomplishments. The person themselves is not really part of our desire and interest. We can only appreciate a person as much as they've helped us. How much can we be grateful? Let's say someone saved our lives. We're now grateful to them on the deepest level. They saved our lives. They fulfilled our need to be alive. But do we need to live? I mean, it doesn't sound very nice to hear, but at the end of the day, we are one of just billions of people walking on a planet out of billions of stars. With the soul, when we fulfill her desires, we're now connecting with her complete and infinite self, a real and wholesome entity. We connect to the soul herself, not her accomplishments. We connect to her in essence. In summary, the soul lives in a singularity unified with all the other souls and all other truths. Humans want things like making money, having successful careers, going around with our friends and having a lot of fun. The soul wants things too. She wants to make sincere relationships. She wants to connect with her ultimate and divine source. She wants to be kind and selfless. The difference is the soul's desires come from her wholesomeness and purity. She doesn't need these things to satisfy her and make her complete. This is what she is, and if she doesn't get it, then she remains her true and wholesome self. Us humans desire things because without them, we're lacking. Without fulfilling our desires, we remain with a void. All our desires create a void in us, and then we fulfill them or we don't. But there's so much more to cover on this topic, like how the soul has parts to begin with if she's an infinite and wholesome self, how we can achieve true and ultimate connections with other people even while we're in our bodies. We'll be talking about these in our next videos, so make sure you follow them.